You're listening to Silicon Edge's Spotlight Interview Series. Silicon Edge is personalized innovation for your competitive edge. Innovate, communicate, transform at silicon-edge.com. Now, here's your host, James Santagata.
Steve Jobs is the genius who burned the Silicon Valley's public playbook, and he probably laughed doing it. So whether you love him or you hate him, the fact remains that Jobs enjoyed unparalleled success during his return and second reign at Apple, leading the development and launch of a string of immensely successful and profitable products. And we know them all. The iMac, the iPod, iTunes, MacBook, iPhone, and iPad, among others. And I would also put in the charging cable for the iPhone. I mean, honestly, what a ripoff, but it must have been a massive, and probably still is, profit center for Apple. I mean, that little cheesy thing, I've gone through them probably every 2 months. Anyways, what a joke. Now, from that comment alone, you should understand I'm not an Apple fanboy. If you followed any of my work or my writings, you know that I've been extremely critical of Apple. And I've not owned any Apple products except for several iPhones. And I do have one iPod, which I received as a gift, and that's it. However, I am objective. I consider myself to be smart, hopefully so, and I'm a student of success. And I like to deconstruct success, and I especially like to do this when that success and the manner of getting it is so delicious that it slays the matrix momentum thinking, when it slays the matrix malware thinking or the boxed-in approach. And the bottom line is Steve Jobs' results cannot be argued with. They're not a fluke. They are not a fluke. And they are the epitome of success. But they are so rare because most people don't follow how he does it or understand what makes this work. Now, when you look at Steve Jobs, returned to Apple around in July 1997. When he got there, he found Apple not just in disarray, but literally on its deathbed. He immediately went to work, first trying to revive it with triage, stabilize it, and then to move forward with supercharging. Was that possible? Many didn't think so, but he did it. What did that entail? Well, some pretty amazing leadership. Slashing, thrashing, threshing, burning, underperforming, and distracting products. And then from there, slowly working to help Apple, the workforce, as well as the capital markets and the consumer markets, most importantly, of you and I, to have confidence in Apple once again. Jobs was able to amazingly secure a $150 million investment from Microsoft, and to get Microsoft to ensure that they would not pull support or their offering of the Microsoft Office software suite from Apple's platform. That was a key to both reviving Apple and stabilizing it. The $150 million for a much needed capital, and of course the Office suite to make sure that the business community and so many others that relied on that had access. If that had been lost or gone, the Office suite, Apple was probably dead. Now, how did Jobs do that? Well, he did it by positioning it as a way for Bill Gates and Microsoft to appease and placate the Department of Justice during antitrust investigations and proceedings. Now, it worked. Fantastic move by Jobs. Fantastic move to look at other points of leverage and choke points and see what Bill Gates was facing. On the part of Bill Gates, yeah, probably pure idiocy. Did that do much to help him with the DOJ? Probably not. But it did keep Apple afloat, which later hurt him quite a bit in some areas. Although I will say that's not as bad as the idiocy that Yahoo demonstrated in both the usage and payment to Google in their early years. But we'll explore that in another segment. Now, it should come as no surprise to any of the Macalites or other Mac loyalists that this move by Microsoft to invest money, this move by Jobs to court Microsoft, didn't make them feel good. Was this the first salvo and perhaps an acquisition? What was going on? Well, Steve Jobs understood this, and he said, We have to let go of the notion that for Apple to win, Microsoft has to lose, which was a brilliant statement. Now, at the same time, it's quite humorous in and of itself because Jobs himself was really probably the biggest cheerleader of such sentiment, and if not the original creator. Now, that's not to say the sentiment was unwarranted, only that Jobs was very inconsistent and flip-floppy in how he moved. Now, that's bad, right? Well, not really. Because one of the biggest dangers that people face, especially leaders, is contrived consistency or getting caught in a consistency trap. If it makes sense to move and break all connection with tradition or consistency, do it and run like hell and don't look back. Don't second guess yourself. Sometimes consistency makes sense. In the case of Microsoft, backwards compatibility was one of the critical promises they made to business, and it served them well, and the developer community as well. Apple had a different market, a different go-to-market plan, and that didn't make sense. So in that case, Steve Jobs was extremely smart and psychologically agile to make that call. Now, once Jobs had gone around by removing the distracting products, realigning teams, getting new talent, releasing other talent back into the marketplace, and so on, and securing and righting the Apple ship, they went into starting with hitting some singles, like in baseball. And these singles began to communicate to both the employees, the media, the capital markets, and consumers, hello, we're Apple, and we're not dead yet. From there, Jobs began to accelerate and escalate a series of extra base hits. Right? And finally, these culminated in not just a late inning, game-winning home run, but an industry game-changing grand slam. And we all know what that was. The Apple iPhone. Now, within the industry, this was known to the flat-footed and ossified incumbents as the iPhone shock. But how did Jobs do that? How did he make it look so effortless? How did his winning streak continue for so long? And the answer is, first, he started early in his career by being a good and very diligent student academically, and then finally by graduating top of his class as valedictorian at Harvard. Later, he attended and built out his network and graduated from Stanford with an MBA. In addition, Jobs was known to be humble, non-opinionated, and almost pliable, like clay, that you could get him to do what you wanted, to change his mind, just an amazingly kind and generous person, and most of all, he was 100% open and transparent. He didn't believe in any of this silly stealth mode that many entrepreneurs, at least they used to rely on or utilize, but it's gone away probably in the last decade. But Steve Jobs knew that stealth mode, it had no value because ideas by themselves have zero value. None, zip, nil. He knew that. So Jobs knew, just like the venture capitalists all tell us that, and of course many entrepreneurs say, the value is not in the idea. All the value is in execution. And Jobs knew that. So much to his credit, he publicly blogged about all of the products which were in the development pipeline, including the iPhone. He shared cost structures, he shared vendors and suppliers, and very, very open and forthcoming. And I would say in summation, Steve Jobs followed to the letter, the black letter, the Silicon Valley public playbook. Now, what are those? Well, that's the Silicon Valley values and the playbook of how to win. Follow these proven rules and you'll win. Hold these proven values close to your heart and you'll be a better person. And frankly, by doing that, mega success is just a heartbeat away. So let's take a look a little bit deeper into this playbook. The playbook is what we've heard, and we all know it to be true. And there's really seven items here. Number one, diversity is critical and key to performance. We know that. 2, women always make companies more profitable. 3, top talent always comes from top universities, or top talent performs at the top of standard universities. Stealth is stupid. Number 4, it's all about execution of an idea, because ideas themselves are not worth squat. 5. Transparency is of paramount importance. See number 4 above, stealth is stupid. 6. Be nice to people. Make friends, influence people. Nasty's not nice, and nasty never wins. 7. Don't be or try not to be a hypocrite. Okay? Those should be very simple and probably what your mom taught you as she taught me. Now, everything that you've just heard or you've just read are the standard myths and memes of Silicon Valley, secret Silicon Valley we call it, which at worst could wreck your company and your dreams. And at best, they're just a poisonous parabel. They often present themselves as just a bromide with really no proven efficacy outside of social laboratories and wishful thinking. But if you want to follow them, go ahead. But let's repeat that. Everything you just read or heard was the standard Silicon Valley myths and memes, secret Silicon Valley as we call it, which at worst could wreck your company and your dreams. And maybe they have. Maybe you're listening and you're living in a wet cardboard box under a freeway overpass because you followed the Silicon Valley public playbook. Don't do it if you want to be successful. And at best, they often present themselves as just a bromide. No proven efficacy outside of social laboratories and wishful thinking. And when they are presented as being that way, there's usually particular reasons why, where they're using a company which is an anomaly in an area such as a Facebook or a Google. These don't represent normal companies. All of those can be explained very easily. Sure, some of the things they've done are non-trivial, such as scaling out the infrastructure, the database, the ability to handle thousands of, I don't even know how many, thousands of transactions per second and so on. It's non-trivial. That's a technical issue. But in terms of the rest, we can be explaining these within a combination of missteps by competitors, near monopoly power in others, network effects, and so on. But these do not play out as they would have you believe. So let's review Steve Jobs' bio. Valedictorian, Harvard. He went to Stanford. Published author? Nope. Dropped out. Too busy building. Can't worry about studying other people's books. Nice guys always finish first? Ha! Nice guys make the best doormats. Transparency, the key to employee engagement? Opacity, please. Open is awesome. Stealth is for silly, stupid stinkers. Stealth is for studs. Morons and matrix momentum seekers, they prefer blabbing. They think ideas have no value. Follow the Silicon Valley public playbook to win? Well, these rules are made to handicap and trip up unsophisticated investors and plebes. Hold these values close to your heart? Please, are we done yet? Mega success just a heartbeat away? How about death and personal bankruptcy and shame being just a heartbeat away? Diversity, the critical and a key to success? Depends on the definition of diversity. If diversity is simply someone's sexual orientation or gender or actual reproductive equipment, no. If it's about different ways of thinking or bringing people from different competencies or cultures in, absolutely, that can definitely add value as long as they're properly integrated and serve a purpose of being complementary or constructively uncomplimentary, but can be used to drive and work as a catalyst to bring things forward. Do women always make companies more profitable? I don't know. Jobs can't tell us. He never had any. And even diversity didn't really have it. You can look, I went through the SEC 10K reports during his reign. I didn't see, in fact, any East Indians there, which was amazing because you'll see any number of them in all types of different companies from Exodus, Microsoft, I believe Amazon, of course, within Google, and so on. No, not at Apple, at least not in the VP or the C-suite. If I'm wrong, please ping me and let me know, but I didn't see it. There was one gentleman who was quite high of East Indian heritage or from there, but he had left when Jobs came back. I don't know if that means he knew what was up or it was a coincidence. Now, top talent always comes from top universities or is top performing. Well, yeah, if you want to overpay for talent or overpay for an acquisition or have them leave right away. Usually it's not. They might, but probably not. A lot of those people come with entitlement complexes. Also, the compensation package is over and above what you would expect as well. Stealth is stupid, right? Well, I don't know. Jobs' attitude was that stealth is not stupid, and anyone who thinks it was stupid, summarily fired. You violate Jobs' stealth or NDA or secrecy, you better expect personal lawsuits and also criminal investigations, because he'll send the police out and work with the DA to have you arrested, have you do the perp walk, and then have the DA file charges. Okay, how do you like that? Transparency is paramount importance. Transparency? How about opaque R&D process and super secret product pipeline? Be nice to people? Well, how about be mean, but just not cruel or too cruel? He was known to be a complete a-hole in meetings, extremely condescending, rude, and nasty, wasn't he? Don't try to be or try not to be a hypocrite. Well, how about do as I say, not as I do? Anyways, this is, again, thank you for listening. This was Steve Jobs, the Valley genius, and how he burned the Silicon Valley public playbook to the ground, and how he demonstrated in doing so the very fact that he was the king of UnPC profits, the king of political incorrectness, because he knew, or at least sensed, behind most political correctness is where profits lay. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. This program has been a presentation of Silicon Edge. Silicon Edge is personalized innovation for your competitive edge. Innovate, communicate, transform. Only at silicon-edge.com.